Created the incredible Gravity Falls, but he also contributed to some of the best animated features these last few years. Into the Spider-Verse, the Mitchells vs. the Machines, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. I thought, as you can tell, pretty giddy to see him. So yes, he's seen me talking about his process. I'm excited to hear about his collaborations and just the absolute joy he brings to his work and his fans. So please put your hands together and welcome onto the stage the wonderful Alex Hirsch.
Let's see if this microphone works. Oh, good, it works. I don't have to scream. Hello, everybody. Hi, Playgrounds. Hi, good to see you all. I am very, very happy to be here with all of you. Before I get started talking about whatever nonsense is on that slide presentation, I just want to get a sense, so I know kind of the audience I'm working with here, who here has seen Gravity Falls? Okay, and who here has seen the entire show, the whole show, the whole Slightly less loud. Those of you who were less loud, I'm judging you. It's easy to find. It's on Disney Plus. I see some. Oh my God! I see some cosplay in the audience. I see some Dipper hats. I see a book of Bill. Thank you. They're being paid to promote my book. Thank you. $1 for you. I'm even seeing. Folks, you all need to know this before I talk about what I'm here to talk about. This is a first time ever cosplay today. I have never seen this character cosplayed before. This is a fella named Pyramid Steve.
Oh my God, I've seen this going out on Twitter.
Not a real character. This is a fake bootleg character I made up. Because I create fan art of my own characters, Pyramid Steve. Pyramid Steve, do you have anything to say, Pyramid Steve?
Oh, Pyramid Steve!
I'm the best character.
That's Pyramid Steve's famous catchphrase. We all remember it. So I am here to talk to all of you lovely people. There's a cartoon drawing of myself waving. Let's take a look at that. Look at that hand. Look at that amazing, well drawn. Look at that. I spent 4 years in art school. This is as good a hand as I can draw. Let that be a lesson to you. Eventually, you'll stop improving. That's not true. That was just a very quick drawing. So a little thing about me, I'm the creator of Joe Gravity Falls, and I worked on voices on the show also. And as our lovely introducer said, I also produce and coordinate.
I love when
I sort of have a kind of scatterbrain way of thinking, which means I like to do lots of stuff on lots of projects, and I've been really fortunate that because of the success of Gravity Falls, people trust me enough to let me into their worlds and have them, ask me for advice. I spend a lot of time when I'm not working on top secret projects that are under NDA. I do a lot of work as a sort of overall story guy, script doctor. People call me up and they say, my story, why is it sick? It's hurting, it's dying, and I come in and I sort of diagnose what I think the problem is and say, oh, Act 2's got cancer. We need to swap out the spine. I also created Shrek, like you guys didn't know that. Daddy, thank you for creating me! That's what Shrek said. I'm so sorry about that, guys. They said I could say anything I want in this presentation. I don't know if swearing is allowed. We'll find out if I bang my knee. So previously, in motion, I was supposed to give a talk before, previous talk. I was supposed to be there in person. I was not. Does anyone know why?
Back injury!
I wasn't there in person. I see some hands. Some people know. The answer why is because I was signing a bunch of my book recently. Like a big, cool celebrity. I felt so cool signing thousands of books, and I signed so many books that I fractured my spine. You're thinking, is he 1,000 years old? How is this man so weak that he injured himself sitting? Well, I didn't. And as a result, I had to call up playgrounds and say, I can't come. I broke my body, and they were mad. They said, people are supposed to come and see you. So I gave a virtual talk. And since then, oh, there it is. That's what happened. That's what a slip disc looks like, folks.
That's what I got. He just like you for real, for real.
Work-life balance. Like sometimes leave your drawing desk, go outside, exercise, meet people, fall in love, do those things. If you don't, this will happen to you. And so I had that awful experience. How do you bounce back after a painful experience? I had to figure this out. I first wallowed in despair. Spent a lot of time wallowing, friends of mine will tell you. Also, we visited my friends. That helps. Lots and lots of painkillers. Really important. Can't emphasize this enough. If you want to succeed in animation, drugs. Also, I just had the passage of time. Just time had to pass, and eventually, and also positive thinking, and the power of prayer. And finally, my health eventually, eventually my health got better. Will to live, 10%, 47%. My will to live, I got all the way up to, gosh, I think it's stuck. One second, here we go. All right, well, no one can have 100% will to live. That's not possible, but it's okay because I recovered. I'm better now. Here I am. This is me on a pirate ship. I learned no lessons as soon as I was healthy. I immediately started diving into dangerous situations. Here's things you can do with a functional spine. Sail the seas, participate in the Death Dome. Also, you can go to London. So I am physically here, my actual body is here. And one of the cool things about being in a place with people and not virtual is that I can do a meet and greet. So afterwards, I am going to be doing maybe an hour-ish of some signings if anybody wants a photo or
How are we gonna get the
I feel like that would be valuable. And also the other thing that I can do is, because I've been doing talks and stuff like this for like a decade-ish, and I've said a lot of the same things over and over again, like, oh, if you want to make animation, observe life. And like, the cool thing about being in person is I can actually answer your specific questions. So I know that they said like, oh, we're gonna do a little Q&A. I was like, I'm gonna do a more big Q&A. I want you guys to send those questions to those Discords. I want to actually answer things that are valuable to you. It could be weird, it could be esoteric, like, because I worked on a lot of stuff and I want to talk about stuff that is actually interesting to you. Before I came here, I studied up on British history. As you can see, here's all the classics. I also met the Queen in the hotel. I heard a sound from somebody. Maybe I'm not supposed to mention the Queen. I'm going to skip the next slide. We're not going to. She had a lot to say, but you're never going to know. So I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about a new thing that I've made that I've never talked about anywhere else. Recently, I released a new piece of Gravity Falls media called The Book of Bill. Who here, show of hands, if maybe read it? Okay, we got a couple people who have read it, all right? Who here, to show of hands, if it's like heard of it? Like maybe a few more people have heard of it than have read it. Okay, so this is like, since this book came out and since I released it, I have never had any kind of public appearance. Like this thing, there has been no Q&A, there's been no behind the scenes. No one knows how this came together. You're the first group of people that I'm going to tell a little bit about the secrets of how this thing came together, and then we will get into your Q's and A's about your various animation questions. So we're going to talk a little bit about Book of Bill. I want to talk about how this thing came to be. Basically, so Gravity Falls is a popular series. Thank you for watching it, making it popular, and funding my spine recovery. Thank you. Once the show is concluded, we did a journal for the book. So those of you who've seen the show, which I guess is everyone, Dipper has a spooky journal, and we made a book out of it, and it was very successful. And then Disney asked me if I wanted to do another book. And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, if I want to do another book, it should be something really weird and, can I swear? Really weird and messed up. Can I say effed up? Really effed up. And maybe like a satanic Bible where like Bill Cipher, the villain of the show, is teaching children how to like murder and stuff like that. And Disney said no. He said, that's insane. Why would we agree to that? We're a family-friendly company. We are going to get lawsuits. And I said, fair enough, Disney. Goodbye. And then I just didn't make a book. And then years went by. And then recently, a year and a half ago or something, Disney called me up and they said, hey, it's been a while. People are really hungry for Gravity Falls content. Do you still want to do that satanic evil Bill book? And I was like, yeah, of course, but what changed? And I don't know, desperation kicked in, I'm not sure. My theory is that when I released Gravity Falls, the world was like medium weird, and now it's gotten weirder, so weirdness inflation has resulted in a hunger for new weird products. So they agreed to let me make this cursed, insane book. So I basically responded to them. Here we go, here's my beautiful desktop, folks. Enjoy it, enjoy it. Here we go. I'm going to show you something no one has ever seen before, which is the pitch for the Book of Bill. Right here, the Book of Bill, the book that reads you. Oh wait, it's not showing up. Oh God, we've got a tech disaster. Oh, here we go. It's fine. That was a problem for a moment. So basically, I sort of explained to Disney Publishing that I wanted to do something really evil and messed up, that I wanted there to be backwards letters, and cult explanations, and Bill introducing himself to you, and false history, and Bill working for Disney in the 30s. They rejected that. It didn't find it being part of the book, but it was something I wanted to see. How we were talking about Bill's enemies and his origins, his ex-girlfriend, the secrets of the universe, life, death, fate, horror, free will, love, truth, how to take over the world, how to raise your dead, drive your enemies insane, and him losing his absolute mind over thinking about Stanley Pines and freaking out over it. And also how I wanted it to have infinite impossible things, a physical key and lock, an intact wax seal, Viewmaster wheel, a mirror in the book so you see your own face, pop-up pages, holes torn in the center of the book. They could not afford any of that. I was told that would make each book cost $10,000 a piece, so that wasn't included. And especially what I really wanted to do is I wanted to have a cursed book display in Barnes & Noble's where you see the book, the Bill is possessing the other books, like they're turning black and gnarled and evil. They said they couldn't afford it, so I paid for it. And I made one. Creativity is a negotiation between what's possible and what's a bad idea, and if you just keep trying and throw yourself in front of the train, sometimes it stops for you. You never know. And then, once we sort of had an approval to make this insane book, I have not, by the way, I have not reread what this says prior to putting it on the screen for you guys, so someone is screen capping this and uploading it to Tumblr and saying, oh my gosh, this has mean stuff about lore. It just did. I'm sure none of it means anything. So the next step was reaching out to all my artists to try to sort of put the artwork together a little bit. We started trying to brainstorm covers. Here are our secret visual development covers by our artist Ian Worrell, genius, our director of Gravity Falls. Here you see he came up with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of cover concepts. I just told him it should look like the most evil book in the world. Go nuts. I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? Which is the best one? I'm kind of partial to this guy right here. This dude just having the greatest day of his life. Oh, a triangle! He's my god now. I renounce all others. And so, a lot of biz dev, a lot of brainstorming. This is what we wound up with. Simple. Very simple, but because there were so many great ideas, we decided to actually have the book open up with Bill being indecisive. This is something I'll say about the creative process. If you can't decide what to do, just do everything. So here we have Bill looking at the cover and saying, no, you call that a cover? What are you, cheap? Here, I got a better one for you. Snap, snap, snap. He snaps his fingers, and the cover is just him duct taped inside the book because he's a narcissist. And the best thing he could think of would be himself. Here, let me show you an image of where we wound up here. Here's my powerful PDF of the entire
Alex,
book.
Bill files.
I can just airdrop that to you guys later. You don't have to buy it. No, wait, buy it. I get residuals. Stand by here. In the tech situation. And can a tech person help me understand how to? You may just have to imagine it, or can you grab the book from the guy in the front. Pause bar? Can some tech person help me out here? I don't think so. Okay, you know what? We're gonna have to imagine it, folks.
It's so hard to know which he's serious or what he's actually.
No, it's not happening. This is not gonna happen. All right. Window. Here we go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Accidentally did my recording. Turns out it's 20 minutes per recording. So
Yeah, that I wanted to be able to see it on this screen. This is maybe impossible, folks. Nah, that's the presentation. You know what? I think that we are going to go to the Q&A early, but if during the Q&A I figure out how to make this work, I'm going to show you guys some cool art during the Q&A. How's that sound? All right, so we are going to look through your Discord questions and answer the things that are most important to all of you. Like I said, there's no wrong questions. If we're horribly offended by it, I just won't answer, but it's very hard to offend me, so I encourage you to try to figure out how to offend me. I'm excited to see what you've got. Basically, like I said, I've worked on lots of things, including Gravity Falls. I can answer Gravity Falls questions. I can answer questions about other things. If you're interested in selling a show, voice acting, I've done it all. I've done too much. I've done enough to physically harm my body. So I'm here for you.
I'm here for you. I also like that you're asking people to generate more questions. Our Discord has literally exploded.
Thank you for exploding the Discord, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So we're going to try and get through as many as humanly possible, and I'm just going to run through them from the top, if that's okay. First question is, how do you tackle the ideas generation process at the very beginning of a new project?
That was how do I tackle the ideas generation process at the beginning of a new project. Who here sometimes struggles with coming up with ideas? Anybody? Show hands. Who here never struggles and always nails it on the first try? Okay, I'm hiring you. You're the new Alex Hirsch. I put the jacket on you, I die. It's like the end of the Santa Claus or something, like you become me. Yeah, I struggle, as do we all, I believe.
I'm definitely posting this online.
Okay. I struggle, as do we all, I believe, with coming up with ideas. I think, for me, there's three things that help me out the most. Thing number one is looking to realize. So, like I just said, I was struggling coming up with an idea for a cover, and I said, wait a minute, that's a real-life thing that someone really go through. Bill Cipher could do that. Bam, I've got an idea from observing my own ridiculousness. But you don't have to observe your own ridiculousness. Friends, family, politicians, enemies, especially family in particular, they will give you human observations, and it'll be more raw and real than anything you can come up with. The second step is, once you've got observation, marry it with imagination. Just come up with nonsense, right? Fill a page with the dumbest things you can think of. Ask yourself, what's an animal I've never seen before? What's a type of weapon I've never seen before? What's a vehicle? Take two things that already exist, jam them together. That's the invention part. So observation first, invention second, put it together. And then the third thing for me for the idea generation process is collaboration. So take your combination of making fun of your mom and your weird weapon that you just designed that was like a fork duct taped to a taser, and then show that story to a friend or even better, an enemy, and say, what do you think? They will say, oh, I'll look at it soon, and then never get back to you. So find somebody who talks to you regularly and get feedback from them. And chances are they will have something about it that sparked them. They'll say, oh my gosh, my mom does the same thing. She also puts way too much pressure on me. That's amazing. And then they might say, I'm really confused how the spork taser works. And then you might swap that out and keep iterating, keep showing it to them, keep changing it. Usually, those 3 steps help me out. If that's not working, look at other art, music, read books that you don't even think you're gonna like. Just try to shake your brain up, and it might have something new for you. That's how I handle it.
Amazing. I mean, thorough answer. Next question. What part of the creative process is your favorite when you're working on a new project?
My favorite part of the creative process is everything except for the process itself. So the beginning, when I'm telling everyone how great it's going to be, is awesome, and then torture for months and months and months. And then the end, when I get to make silly commercials and tweets and promos for it. So it's, to me, like, creation is sort of like a labor process. Everyone likes having a baby, everyone likes making a baby, no one likes delivering a baby, but it's necessary, unfortunately.
What is, in your opinion, the best way to meet other people in the industry?
Say that again, to meet people?
Or meet other people in the industry.
Well, you all are doing it right now. Going to one of these events, so congratulations to all of you. I would say, best way to meet, I mean, the industry has transformed so much.
Yeah.
Since I was the ages of many of the rosy-cheeked young lads and ladies I see in front of me. You know, I think that right now, y'all have something that I didn't have when I was coming up in the industry, which is like, you have the entire internet and all of these social media art sharing platforms. Now these platforms, if you spend too much time on them, will make you hate yourself because you'll be comparing yourself to everybody who's better than you, and you'll gradually go insane, and that will make you feel bad, which will make you want something to soothe you, which will make you go back on the website in an addictive loop over and over again. So they can be dangerous, but they're also a great place to meet artists. So like, for this book, for example, there's so many folks who I'd never worked with who I saw their art on Instagram, and I just bookmarked it, and then made a little folder that said, awesome artists. And then when it was time to make a new book, these are folks who, I don't know if they went to art school, I don't know if, I've never seen their portfolio, so to speak, I don't know what part of the world they're in, I know their work is really exciting. And so if you reach out to people whose work excites you, and you share your work with them, and you get yourself out there, that's probably the main thing I would say, is like, don't hide your work. It's never gonna be perfect. Let that imperfection be a part of it. Share your process, share your imperfection. Put the thing online that you kind of hate, and then put something else that you think is a little bit better, and keep showing it and sharing it with people, and people will get invested in your journey. Like, for me, just like saving, following, interacting with people who are like-minded has helped me meet folks in this industry better than I could.
Oh, that's brilliant. Also, that means put your work on Instagram immediately,
Everybody, send me your art after this. I'll see infinite art. You'll think Alex didn't look at my art. He hates me. I did look at your art. I don't hate you. There's just so many of you. But eventually, I might call you up to ask for work on something, because I'll see it and I'll remember it and I'll put it in the bookmark for you.
We've got a childhood question, so take you back.
Of the weirdo kids that are just like I was at that age.
Oh, amazing. I'm gonna check. Did you want to carry on or carry on?
I'll show you guys maybe one little thing, real quick, because now we're in the middle of questions and it interrupts the flow. I did want to quickly show you where we landed with the covers. So the book begins by asking you to place your hand on it, place your name, say it's time to get weird, and if you do, you summon this. I wasted 2 full pages of this. Phil Cypher appears. He explodes out of the book. He tells you why you need him in your life. He says, I'm perfectly fine. And then, when you shake his hand, you see the Book of Bill. He says, you call that a cover? What is this, amateur hour? I can do better than that! And then he snaps his fingers, and we see all these different covers. Spook 'em Ups, the Book of Bill, the Love Triangle. Too basic, too nostalgic, too preachy, too ravishing. There we go, perfect, the crowd loved it! And here we see the perfect final Book of Bill right here. You'll see these are all of Bill's proprietary Photoshop. So there's all the tools that you guys are used to. Let's see, here's the dry stab, wet stab, Or somebody going into the rats, we don't know what that does. Black and yellow, the only two colors that matter. And of course, his process here. Scale, rotate, skew, torture physically, torture mentally, remove and test, stand vertically, stand horizontal, on the top of the piece, put the arm back. I got no notes on this section. They were completely fine with it.
Gosh, one other thing I would like to show you before we get back to questions, because it is so bizarre, is part of this book is Gravity Falls. Those of you who've seen it, everyone, you know, is full of secrets. And so with this book, we wanted to hide more secrets than we'd ever hidden anywhere else. Now, I'll say most of the secrets of the book, since it's come out thanks to Reddit, have been discovered. Most of them. I'm not going to tell you where the undiscovered secret is. You're going to have to look for it for yourself. But I'll show you two of the hardest secrets that they discovered, so it puts you in the mindset of just how weird the last hidden secret is. So one of the hidden secrets, one of the hardest to find, starts on the very first page here. You'll see that coffee stain. There's coffee stains all throughout the book. Here's one here, here's one here. I was trying to think of something that would plausibly be in a book, but not scream, I'm a code. If you overlay those coffee stains on this wheel, on this page right here, the break of each stain is in between two letters. The dot near the stain tells you what order to put those letters in, and all the stains collectively over the course of the book give you a secret message. That was the second hardest, third hardest in the book. The second hardest is right here on this page about silly straws. You can see Bill's having a great time, and here on the corner, you see numbers that had absolutely no explanation whatsoever. I was getting lots and lots of people tweeting me every hour, what's with the silly straws? Somebody filmed themselves breaking a bunch of silly straws and stomping on them angrily. That's how you know you've got your audience, folks. It's when they're sending you like beheading style videos of them burning your merchandise. You're like, ha ha, got you in the palm of my hand. So this one, somebody figured out that the first pair of numbers in every group is no greater than 2, it's 1 or 2. The second pair of numbers is no greater than 21. And the third pair of numbers, the last pair never exceeds 60. From this, they were able to figure out that the first number must be a season, the second number must be an episode, and the third number must be a time code. And then each one of these takes you to episode 3, season 1, time code 438. And each of those time codes, a character says a word. If you splice all those words together, you get a message. It's a spooky message, perhaps about Bill's past, and it's. I encourage those of you to look up "Silly Straws, Gravity Falls, Psychosis Breakdown" to see what I did there. So, of the 3 hardest codes in the book, these are 2 who have been found. There's one left that haven't been found. I encourage all of you to hunt for it. I have not ever revealed that piece of information until right now. Okay, let's do some more Q&A. Let it land on a random page. There we go. Let's get some more questions. I'll try to answer them quick since we don't have a ton of time. We'll do a lightning round.
I graduated a year ago, and I'm wondering how long it took you to actually get a job within the industry, and what advice you give for people who are trying to get into the industry now.
Okay, so like hard work is very, very, very important. Timing and luck also play a part in the animation industry, as all industries. I was very fortunate that when I graduated college, that there was a booming animation market looking for people to sell new television shows. Right now, the animation market is in a bit of a decline, and I will say that these things are cyclical. They rise and fall. When I was in college, there were no jobs, and then just as I graduated, there were jobs, and now there's not a lot of jobs, and it's going to go back up again. What that means for you is the negative side of the slowdown is it's hard to get jobs. There is no positive side, it's all negative. However, I will say, the important thing is, between now and when jobs start to pick up again, like, you have a little extra time to put a little bit extra work into your portfolio. Make your portfolio bulletproof. Make yourself indispensable. Try to create the best possible work you can. Try to work in all kinds of different styles. Work in styles you hate, because even if you don't get good at them, they'll make you better. Now is the time to fortify your portfolio, because when things start to pick up again, you want to be ready.
you don't want to be caught unprepared. So I'll say, like, keep grinding if you can. I do believe things will get better, but it's going to be a minute, unfortunately.
Can you comment on Grunkle Stan winning the Funkle Bunkle?
Security, who asked that question? Well, I mean, who here even knows what they're talking about? Do you guys know about this Grunkles? Yeah, okay, some people know. The rest of you are in for being bored. I guess I'll explain it. What's to explain? There's a meme. Okay, in season 1, episode something of Gravity Falls, they fall in a bottomless pit, they all tell stories, and Grunkle Stan says, I'll tell you a good story. It's called Grunkle Stan Wins the Football Bowl. And then it cuts to him just like doing a touchdown and a bunch of like football players being like, Mr. Barnes, we thought all folks were useless, but you taught us and our showboating friends a lesson. And then he says, here, give me that football winning trophy. And they roll in a football trophy. It's really stupid. The point is it's stupid. And some enterprising internet person took Stan saying, Grunkle Stan wins the football bowl. And they re-edited it to him saying, Grunkle Stunkle wins the Funkle Wunkle. What does that mean? Nothing. That means a wonderful creative person took observation, something they saw from me, and invention, turning it into gibberish like you had a stroke. And then they shared it with an audience, the internet, and it's turned into this insane meme. So those of you who have not seen Grunkle Stunkle Wins the Funkle Bunkle, I encourage you, load it up on every device you have, ruin your date, destroy relationships with your friends and family. Look, I'm very grateful that I've made something that even a decade after it concluded, people are still finding ways to extract joy from it. Like, I'm very grateful for these memes. Whoever you are, brave soul, who made Grunkle Stunkle Wins the Funkle Bunkle, make yourself known. I will sign anything, object, human or pet you desire. Find me. That's the end of that question.
Great answer. Okay, so when it comes to pitching and building a show, what is the most looked over aspect that is the most crucial?
The answer is going to annoy you all because it's the thing I always say, but okay, wait, I got looked over. Okay, keep it short. Make your TV Bible pitch really, really, really short because executives have very, very little time. Most of them are clinically depressed. They're not going to look at it for that long. You just want to quickly get in, get out, entertain them. That's number one. Number two, I know this is obvious, but for the love of God, the characters of your pitch matter more than anything. I know it takes place in an amazing dystopia that's part fantasy and part technology, and it's got references to all these cool old books and poems. That's all fine. People just care about the characters. Like, they just care about, like, oh, this character reminds me of someone I hate or someone I love or an annoying tick that a neighbor does. Like, keep your pitches short, make the characters, like, rock solid entertaining, and you will rise above all the rest of the pitches. Also, put your contact information, for the love of God, at the top of your social media. Because there's a lot of people with great stuff out there where I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna hire them, and their name is like, Jibble Madibble. And I'm like, that's awesome, but do you have a real name or an email or anything? And then they're just like, no, but I do have a 50-page fanfic about Supernatural. And I'm like, that's great! But what's your name? I can't hire you without it! So, short pitch, great characters, put your contact on the top of your social media.
How do you always stay positive about your ideas? How do you navigate between trusting the story and getting bored of it or irritated by the plot holes?
How do you stay positive? I get angry. I am frequently frustrated with every single thing that I do. I find it helps to have a couple different projects at once. So once one project is driving you crazy, you can pop over to the other one, and then when it drives you crazy, you pop over to the third, and then you kind of go in like a nice little circle here from project to project. That certainly helps me. I think the only other thing that really helps me is just like watching stuff that I absolutely love. Because sometimes when I watch like a really kind of crummy TV show or movie, I just think like, well, it's impossible for things to be good. And then I just lay on the floor and don't move for a day or two. Have like a break glass in case of emergency of your favorite shows and movies and songs that when you think it's impossible to create, break the glass, listen to them, watch them, and remember, oh yeah, I love this stuff. Because it's a marathon, not a sprint animation, and you need something to pick you up midway through the process.
What's your process of finding a voice for a character, and do you ever construct a character around a voice?
Yes, often I start with the voice. I think voices are really important. That doesn't mean you have to be a voice actor, but it does mean keep your ears alert to the interesting and funny and strange voices in your life. So when I created Gravity Falls, a lot of it did come from, okay, well I have my sister Yakin in my ear. She's my twin. We literally gestated for 9 months together. We were bonded, and I've heard her my entire life. And I know how to make specific jokes about the things my sister would do. Grunkle Stan was inspired by my grandpa Stan. So my grandpa Stan really did have the gravelly, deep, grunkle, stunkle voice. He would have no idea. If he could be alive today to see this grunkle stunkle, he would be so baffled. I think he'd be proud because it's making money. That would be the important thing. He's like, I don't understand this stunkle, but as long as it makes the stocks go up, then great. I'll join the stunkle market. I'm all in. St. Seuss on Gravity Falls is inspired by a guy who I went to college with named Jesus, who was always at the copy machine fixing it, and then sometimes breaking it, and just sort of going back and forth between, oh, like the light range is working, no, the light range is not working. It's a good light, it's a bad light. Oh, I burned it down, I'm sorry, dudes. So I'm always listening for those kind of funny rhythms. So I encourage you to do the same. It certainly helped me. I don't think I would be hired as a voice actor if I just came up in the industry trying to be one. So I use nepotism to hire myself as my own boss. That's not a trick that works on most people, but if you do get a show, you can voice characters. They can't stop you. It's your show.
I've just got one here that's storyboard advice, storytelling advice.
Storyboard advice. Oh, get somebody who's better than you to work for you. I used to be a storyboard artist, so I proved my way up. I climbed up the ladder. Storyboard advice, simple, clear. I boarded the entire Gravity Falls pilot on like sticky notes, like smaller than an index card, and it stopped me from getting extraneous details. So now when I have to fix storyboards, I shrink. I literally take a yellow sticky note, put it on my CT, and then I shrink the storyboard profile down so that it is that size so I can't zoom in, and I try to thumb the whole thing out that way. Would it be simpler to just use real sticky notes? Yes, but that's my weird process. Storytelling advice, start the story in the middle of conflict, end the story sooner than you think, leaving people wanting more. And a good story starts with a bad decision. Don't worry about making your character too kind or pleasant or likable. Have them screw up. That's what makes interesting stuff happen.
Amazing. Is there any other weird content you wanted to make but couldn't?
Weird content I wanted to create but couldn't. Yeah, I mean, constantly. If I try to answer that, I'll fill this entire 8 minutes and 40 seconds, so let's go to the next one.
Okay, have you always had a fascination with the weird, macabre, and folk tales? When did you realize you wanted to transfer that into your work?
Yeah, so sometimes artists get into the arts, sometimes, not all.
Sometimes we get into the arts because drawing makes more sense than other people. That was certainly how I got into the arts. When I was in elementary school, I was really baffled by just social interaction in general, and found that I would feel a lot safer hiding in the library, drawing in my sketchbook. While in the library, I would pick up books about the Loch Ness Monster and UFOs and unsolved mysteries. I grew up in the 90s, so you had the X-Files, you had Weekly World News. Conspiracies used to be fun and goofy. They used to be like kind of a playful thing in the past, in the 90s. And so the world didn't make sense to me, and I looked for secrets that would make it make sense. And I always thought that if I created things, I wanted to hide secrets in them for other strange kids who maybe were going through a rough patch and needed a project that involved lots of closing the windows and locking the doors and being alone for extended periods of time.
I've got, what's your process of coming up with story arcs? Do you have any tips?
Story arcs. So that's probably like an arc that goes over the course of a whole season, a whole series. Yeah, I mean, when we started Gravity Falls, the Lost finale had just aired. I don't know if any of you guys remember Lost. Yes, it's a beloved show. People were rioting over the ending. They were really, really mad. I've never seen it, so you can't spoil the ending for me. But apparently whatever happened was kind of unsatisfying. So me and my co-writer, Mike, we did a drawing on the whiteboard of the lost airplane crashing, and we said with an arrow that says, "Don't do this." And we wrote down season 1, season 2, and we tried to come up with one question with one answer that we knew that we had before we started.
Apparently, apologies J.J. Abrams if you're in the crowd if I'm butchering your story. Apparently with Lost, they had an ending in mind, they knew it, and then when the audience guessed it, they panicked, and then they changed it, resulting in something unsatisfying. We tried to stick to our ending, and when people started guessing it, we just started inventing fake spoilers to try to throw them off the scent. So start with some real answers. You don't need to know everything, but know enough that you won't piss some fans off if you're lucky to get fans.
How do you manage to convince people to get interested in or find what you want to do / create when it's just, this is a longer question than I should go. How do you manage to convince people to get interested in what you're doing?
How do you manage to convince? I'll tweak that question a little bit. Because everyone here is interested in this kind of stuff. That's why we're all here. We love animation, right, folks? There are places where people care, but there are also places where people don't care. I'm sure some of you have, like, gone to Thanksgiving or something and had them say, like, is Shrek real? Like, just people who don't understand animation at all. I will say, I know there's a fair amount of people in the animation industry who envy the prestige that theoretically comes from, like, live action. They say, oh my god, the Oscars are so important, everyone's so beautiful. Oh, Martin Scorsese's there, he's important, we want to be important. And there's a lot of people in animation who, once they reach a certain point in their career, leave animation, turn coats, they go to make live action movies, and they're like, oh yeah, I did animation for a while, but now I'm a real director. No shade to any particular directors. For me, I just don't care I don't care about prestige. The secret for me is not caring about prestige. The secret for me is caring about what you love personally. Like, there's no way to make everyone love what you love. But there's no way to make anyone love what you create unless you love it first. So I would kind of focus on making something that you really, really care about. And like I said, talk to trusted friends about it, but like, the idea of, like, am I gonna win an award? Is it gonna be considered as important as some great work of literature? I mean, that's out of your hands anyway. So rather than spending all this time worrying about it, just make something that you think is great. I do think it's awesome when people in animation try live action. I think it's awesome when people in animation, in live action try animation. I think that's all cool. I just think it sucks when it comes out of some idea that, like, this isn't prestigious enough. Like, we're making drawings come to life using black magic. Like, what could possibly be more amazing than that? Like, oh, you click record and your hot friend ran a monologue. Who cares? Like, what we're doing should be impossible. Like, if you drag someone from the Middle Ages to watch animation and see, like, a mouse dancing and wearing pants, he would vomit and pass out and then pray to you like you're his new god for all times. Versus if he saw people on stage being like, Hamlet or whatever, he'd clap and whatever, but like, this shit is amazing. So, I don't know, who cares if some people don't like it? It's their loss, right? That's how I feel.
So a lot of your characters feel very realistic and grounded. Could you comment on inspiration for the relationship between your characters?
Alas, I've already answered that question. Let's move on to the next one.
Is there any advice when it comes to joining unions? Sorry, did we that before?
Any advice when it comes to joining unions? If you can, do it. Next question.
What is up with Bill and Ford?
What is See, we had to get through all, like, those before we got to the real stuff. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm kidding. We've got 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Bill and Ford. Ford is a scientist who wants more than anything in the world to be seen as important. Bill is a monster from another dimension who preys on people with insecurity and makes them feel important to get them to build a portal for him. That's not a healthy relationship. And even though most of us don't know literal demons, although if you do see me after the show, I want to see a photo. I think we all know terrible people. I think we all know manipulative people. I think, like I said before, the things people care about are characters and relationships. So when I was working on the Book of Bill, and I asked myself, what would the relationship between a demon and his dupe be like? I thought it would be tumultuous, and it might remind me of the worst relationships that friends of mine have described in their lives. That's why I say, like, take some inspiration from real life. If you're looking for a really, really messy relationship, whether it's between two high schoolers or a trillion-year-old demon and a scientist who is just really wants people to think he's cool and would do anything for it. Rather than typing demon, you know, maybe type break up and see what you see online. Next question.
Have an infinite pizza or rather have lush hair?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Have an infinite pizza or have lush hair?
All right, we're gonna pull the crowd here. Infinite pizza, who says infinite pizza? Give me noise. All right, where's my lush hair heads at? Who's got lush hair? Whoa, the lush hair came in strong. I was thinking pizza, but now I'm like looking at my forehead and my, if you watch live, you can see my hairline begin to recede. We're gonna have a live receding hairline cam after this. You know what, I'm going with the crowd, I'm going with that lush hair, let's do it.
How did you grow to become comfortable with the weirdness inside of you?
How did I grow to become comfortable with the weirdness inside of you? You can't make it go away. There isn't really a choice. I'm going to spoil the movie Babadook for those of you who haven't seen it. Babadook is a horror movie about a woman who's going through her own various domestic struggles, and then this Babadook guy, a freaky dude with a scary hat, keeps showing up and messing up her nightmares. And normally a horror movie would end with either the Babadook killing her, or her killing the Babadook. But this movie chose a more realistic approach to what we do with the monsters that plague us inside our minds. You see that the Babadook appears to be gone, and then you see her kiss her daughter goodnight, and then go to a trap door in the basement and feed the Babadook fish heads. She learns to live with the monster. That's what I would say to do with your creativity. It's not going anywhere, so you need to invite it inside, feed it, and let it be your friend and eat your enemies instead of eating you. I think we're out of time, folks.